Hey guys, welcome back to the land of books and movies. Well, I am still reeling from the wild ride last week that was The Woman. So I checked out the straight to film sequel, and I have questions. The name of the movie is Darlin, after the youngest member of the clique family turned adopted daughter of the feral woman, and it doesn't pick up right where The Woman left off, although there are flashbacks to fill in the blanks. To rehash the final events of last week's book to movie and describe how we got here, The Woman closes with a feral woman making her bond with Peggy and Darlene and leaving the clique homestead with them as a newly minted family. Darlin picks up 8 years later with the woman and Darlene alone and going to the hospital right out of the gate. I have my first question. In the previous movie and the book, the woman is skilled at patching up her own wounds. And furthermore, after the whole fiasco at the clique homestead, why would she ever give society the time of day ever again? But I digress. Darlene is injured and at the hospital. The doctor freaks her out, but the nurse named Tony calms her, and this prompts Darlene to turn the cold shoulder to the woman when she sees her through the window of her hospital room. They get Darlene cleaned up and patched up, and they give her over to a Catholic rehab school for homeless girls where we meet Sister Jennifer, who is a recovering addict and novice nun, who is like the echo of Miss Raton from the previous movie. And Darlene's classmates in this convent are a lovable ragtag group who enjoy dancing, smoking pot, and swearing like sailors when the nuns are not watching. And they are instrumental along with the nuns and the bishop in getting Darlene talking and reading. And as a side note, when they cover the book of Genesis, there must be something about it that is reminiscent of the sixth tier of the NSFL iceberg because Darlene takes off her pants and goes running outside. A little nod to May Leeds. Anyway, as for Darlene, old habits die hard. Um, Let me see, where was I? They get her talking and reading, and she picks up her, those skill levels, of language and reading where they left off when she was a little kid. But she assimilates slowly, but her old habits, they die hard. She still eats with her hands and prefers her meat still struggling. She's also getting sick every morning and having night terrors. She gets a visit from Nurse Tony, and we get to find out in flashback what happened to her sisters from the previous movie. Peggy died in childbirth, and Agnes ran away. And the woman fed her pieces of Peggy's remains in keeping with her habits. Later on, during a one-on-one chat with the bishop that is quickly going sideways, in a predictable revelation that the bishop is a dirty pig who abuses the girls in the convent. Anyway, we find out that Darlene is at least in her second trimester. And incoming flashback illustrates how we got there. It was that Darlene had her first tender moment with a random and unnamed boy, and the woman condemned this. And she killed him and ate pieces of him and made her eat some of him too. So that's why this rift between them happened. Additionally, the memory of Peggy dying in childbirth and everything the bishop has been teaching her about devils inside has her convinced that the baby inside her is a devil. Meanwhile, the woman is actively searching for Darlene in the hospital, in a shopping center, and in a playground, which I have questions about. The previous movie makes it clear that she's an accomplished hunter, which requires being inconspicuous. Well, she's awfully conspicuous wearing a stolen trench coat, layers of dirt, and grunting like a Neanderthal, all while killing hospital staff, shoplifting a baby carrier, and almost stealing a baby from a playground. Also, several memories show the woman and Darlene walking through snow wearing just layers of dirt and their very long hair, kind of like a ripoff of the Jersey Devil from the first season of The X-Files. Anyway, previous movie drives it home that the woman is skilled at crafting her own clothing out of animal hides. Anyway, while at the playground, the woman finds a newspaper with Darlene's face on the front page and a headline that the bishop converted a feral girl. So now the woman can read. Before this, she had fallen in with a group of homeless women and earned their trust by killing violent Johns. And when they kind of make the connection that she's looking for the girl on the front page of the paper, they take her to the church where it's the day of Darlene's confirmation. And she is drinking bleach before the ceremony, which brings me to another question. Straight bleach for cleaning and disinfecting and stain removal is highly corrosive. Heard stories of stupid idiots dipping their hair in this bleach to go instant blonde, only to see their hair destroyed instantly. So with that being said, drinking that shit should burn like a son of a bitch, doing immediate damage, but it's just a movie. The woman and her ragtag entourage arrive just as Darlene is offered the Eucharist, and she can't accept it. Sister Jennifer calls out the bishop in front of everyone, and the shit hits the fan as the woman kills a cameraman and the bishop in a most ostentatious fashion, which scares the crap out of the hobo parade, and they run screaming. Darlene starts to succumb to the bleach poisoning and goes into labor. She delivers an unexpectedly clean and fully developed baby that she just gives over to the woman, which brings me to my last question. Why doesn't anyone feed that baby or cover her up? This is stupid. And this has been Darlin. Thank you so much for joining me again this week. Please consider subscribing and see you next book and movie.